Welcome to a wet and somewhat blustery Cadwell Park for the final rounds of the Miller's Oils Toyota MR2 Championship, and the title is still to be decided. John Wilson could take it, but the ball is firmly in the court of this man, Matt Palmer. He's with Matt Suckley.
Matt Palmer from the MR2 Championship. You are leading the championship coming here to Cadwell Park, but I think it's fair to say as well it's tricky conditions today. How do you think it's going to play out?
Yeah, it's very tricky conditions. We had our practice behind the safety car and it seemed okay, but there was quite a lot of water on the track. I hope the race goes ahead, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Who do you reckon is going to be your kind of closest competitor here today?
It's difficult to say because I wasn't here yesterday, so I'm not sure what anyone's pace was who was racing yesterday, but the Mark 3 should be good because they got good handling and also good acceleration off the corners. And also Mike Wells has been really fast the last few races, so it's painting competition from him.
Are you aware of what you got to do today to kind of wrap up the championship?
Yeah, I need to get 18 points from the last two races, so yeah, but I'll probably be going for a podium at least. Don't want to just win on getting the bare minimum. I'd rather get a podium. Yeah,
get it done early on. All the best, Matt.
Thanks a lot.
Stuart, MR2 Championship here today at Cadwell Park. 2 races on the cards. You're the man doing the chasing. What have you got to do, really?
Do you know what? I've broken out the calculator. I've worked out that if I can get 2 fourths, that will guarantee me second place. I've just got to look at what the guys around me are doing, like Mike Wells, John Wilson, Tim Heron. I'm going to be trying to think while I'm going round about what it means for the championship, but at the end of the day, in conditions like this, it's just about getting round. And
for you this year, you've got to drop 2 worst scores in the championship. For you only dropped 2, I think.
I dropped. Yes, I think I dropped 2 points. That's it. Because I didn't do Pembury, so that's kind of like my 2 points already dropped. Is 2 positions rounds already dropped. So my points are where they are at the moment. I think I'm sitting 4th at the moment. I think on drop scores, if you look at it today, I'm 2nd. So that's what I'm hoping for.
And what are your views on Cadwell Park? You like the circuit?
Yeah, you know what, Cadwell, I've always loved it. I struggle racing on it. It's always been a bit of an Achilles heel for me, but I'm good in the wet. So we'll see what happens today. It's a throw of the dice today in today's conditions.
Yeah, it's going to be anyone's guess on what's going to happen, but good luck, Stuart.
Thanks ever so much. Cheers.
The rain wiped out timed qualifying, so the grid for race 1 set by championship positions basically. Matt Palmer and Tim Heron on the front row of the grid, Stuart Nichols and Michael Wells on row 2. John Wilson on the inside of row 3 next to Matthew Wallace, with Wilson penalised 3 places on the grid due to an indiscretion at the previous meeting. Lights out, great start from Michael Wells. Tim Heron I think was caught napping there a little bit on the outside of the front row of the grid. It's side by side for the lead, but Michael Wells has made a blinding start there, and he's gone into the lead of the race. Fantastic stuff. Matt Palmer in second, a little bit of a nudge and a nerf a bit further back down the order, but look at this, Michael Wells is miles ahead already as he makes his way through Charlie's corner for the first time, but he runs out wide there and the grass is very wet and he gets sideways, but he holds on to it. Wow, hairy moment there for the race leader, because there's no grip at all on the grass with all the rain that we've had so far this weekend at Cadwell Park. But he holds on to the lead somehow. Fantastic effort. It's side by side further back. You can see Alex Knight involved in some of that in the Rogue Motorsport entered car. Here's Matt Palmer then, the championship leader in the lead, and he's off again, Michael Wells, and this time he's lost it. He spins around, the car bounces in the air and a biff into the barriers. Water sprays in all directions, and Michael Wells, who was leading, has had his second off on the opening lap, and it's cost him dear this time, as through on the inside of Stuart Nichols goes Matthew Wallace there to take 3rd position away, and John Wilson trying to follow him through as well. Stuart Nichols in the Mark 3 Roadster. We're on board with him now as they head towards the foot of the mountain for the first time. Nichols down to 5th. Nichols with one eye on the championship point standings this weekend. He's looking to wrap up Class C for the Mark 3 Roadsters, which are a little bit less powerful than the Mark 2s, but they're also a lighter car, so quite different characteristics. Which is Cadwell Park going to suit, I wonder? It's Palmer then that has inherited the lead from Tim Heron in 2nd place, Matthew Wallace 3rd, John Wilson 4th, Stuart Nichols is in 5th position. As the rest of the field filter their way through Barn Corner on this first lap, a very full grid. We were into reserves, and Paul Hudson unfortunately has missed out on being able to start this race. Wallace now trying to go 2nd here, but meanwhile a replay of that moment for Michael Wells. I hope there's no damage there picked up in either the impact as the car landed on the ground again, or went nose on into the barriers. Michael Wells has got restarted once more, and the man who lay 5th in the points coming into this weekend with 5 podium finishes is now on a mission to try and recover as much lost ground as he can possibly do. On board with Mick Nichols here. I think this is Simon Wallace, is it, that he's getting alongside. Past the marshal's post they go, over the brow and into Park Corner. Mick Nichols much later on the brakes. Has he left it too late? No, he can get it turned in okay. But is that the front bonnet on the car flapping a little bit in front of him there? Is there something that hasn't quite been secured properly? I wonder, is that slowing him down? As Matthew Wallace tries to launch an attack for 2nd position here on Tim Heron. Heron, who's been very consistent this season but yet to finish on the podium. Nevertheless, he lies 3rd in the point standings. 25 points for a win, 24 for 2nd, 23 for 3rd, so on. So points don't drop away too quickly. The championship situation with Ward's consistency. So further back, that's the 27 car coming through of Ryan Connolly, the 26-year-old from Newark in Nottinghamshire. So on his local circuit here this weekend. Driver that's been competing in autograss from the age of 12 up to the age of 18, so he's got lots of experience. As off the circuit goes Mark Barber. Mark's had a couple of podium finishes there, but he was cutting it a bit fine. Christian White went past him in the number 28 car. Christian White and Mark Barber, the 2 top novices this season in the Miller's Oils Toyota MR2 Championship, and vying for the Rookie Award this season. Barber has had the podium finishes, White has not. As there goes the number 79 car of Jonathan Grimes, the 3rd of the roadsters that we have out this weekend. No Jim Davis here at Cadwell Park. Well, Matt Palmer not getting away here from number 23 Tim Heron in the lead of this race. Still Matthew Wallace 3rd. Of course, Palmer knows that 9th position here will wrap the championship up with a race to spare. That's the outright title. There are separate points tables kept for the individual classes as well. There's number 85, which is Nigel Ralphson, who has been coming on strongly in recent races. He's 10th in the championship coming into this weekend. He's had some good consistent results as well. So it's 2 for the lead, then 3 cars battling over 3rd place. Ben Rowe has made up some ground here, hasn't he? Ben started on the 7th position and ended the first lap in P7 as well, but has gradually climbed up the order. He was 6th at the end of lap 2, 5th at the end of lap 3, but we're on board now with Mick Nichols. Over the crest of the mountain they go, along this short straight, past the cafeteria there, onto the brakes for the Hall bends. Brake lights go on. Next braking area will be into the hairpin. Now, there's all the camber changes as well through a sequence of sweeping Hall bends. But it's Palmer, the mechanical engineering graduate, that leads the race. He's from Reading. Heron there in 2nd position, the man from Warwick, software developer by occupation, is Tim Heron. Competed in speed events in the past. And there is Mick Nichols still with that bodywork flapping in front of him. I think he's just behind the 28 car, isn't he? Which is Christian White, of course. Wallace, Wilson, Stuart Nichols and Nigel Ralphson there, vying for position. Oh, and it's finally flipped up into his face, and Mick Nichols has got a cracked windscreen now. What's he going to do? Straight on into the paddock, best option. Mick Nichols is out of it though. There's a certain sense of inevitability about that, right from the moment we saw that bodywork flapping on the opening lap of the race. Gallagher, number 83, just in behind Dan Holmes, the green number 92 car. Making their way to Park Corner. And you've got that Swedish flag coloured car as well of Mark Warren Leighton, car number 16. So this is a battle, I think around about 16th and 17th position at the moment. Dan Holmes, car number 92, 17th in the championship coming into this weekend. Did all of the rounds, missed the Pembrey double header. There's Gallagher though, number 83, making his way out of Mansfield towards the mountain section once more. And Ben Rowe has continued to climb up the order and he's up to second place now. He's got ahead of Tim Heron. And Ben Rowe, well, he was a winner in the opening meeting of the season at Brands Hatch, but he's not visited the podium since round 2 of the championship. Very much in contention now. I think Matt Palmer's feeling Ben Rowe's breath down his neck all of a sudden. That's the 28 car of Christian White. We look back from him now, and it's towards the Michael Wells car that's been back through, and look at that! Incredible speed that Michael Wells carried through that corner, through the first part of Charlie's, and he's got ahead now of Christian White, and he's streaking away. So Michael Wells, the 32-year-old Royal Navy helicopter pilot, is absolutely determined to recover the best possible position after his indiscretion on the opening lap. That's Mark Barber, I think, coming up to challenge Christian White as well, but Wells spins and he's off again! My word! I thought he was carrying a lot of speed in. Too much, in fact, for Michael Wells. He has another moment. He's got it all to do again. Meanwhile, nose to tail for the lead of the race here. Matt Palmer doing enough to wrap up the championship, and Ben Rowe side by side further back as well. That's the 49 car of David Rowe. 42 is Chris Franklin. Both of those drivers making it into the race. Rowe goes through because it's a spin for 42, which is Franklin, the man from Romford. When he joins, he's not lost too much time. Last lap then from Matt Palmer, and I should think he'll be mightily relieved to see that last lap board, because Ben Rowe is giving him a very hard time. He's been in second since part way around lap 6 of the race. This is now lap number 8 of the 13-minute plus 1 lap encounter, and Ben Rowe carries very good speed out of the corner. Oh, what did they touch, I think, as they come out of Charlie's that time. It's a light kiss on the back of Matt Palmer's car from Ben Rowe, the driver from Devon. It's a long journey for him for the majority of the races. Look at them, nose to tail. Ben Rowe's not giving up, he's not taking no for an answer. There's Mark Barber in car number 22, in 12th position at the moment. Christian White just ahead of him in car number 28. Towards Park Corner they go, and Barber loses as he takes out the polystyrene corner marker as well. I think he just about keeps it out of the barriers though. But Mark Barber, he's had an instant-packed race as well. Good speed, but not necessarily used to good effect this weekend, it seems to me. On board with Palmer, out in front, clear track ahead of him, into the Hall bends for the final time. Couple more corners to go, and then he can be certain of the championship. But where's Ben Rowe in all of this? He's still behind. Yes, he's very much still behind as they come out of Barn Corner for the final time, but there's less than a car length between them. And Ben Rowe's going to get his pedal to the metal here. He's going to try and draw alongside Matt Palmer as they come up to the line and take the checker flag, but Matt Palmer wins the race, and more importantly for him, he wins the Miller's Oils Toyota MR2 Championship as well. Tim Heron comes home 3rd, Matthew Wallace 4th, Stuart Nichols 5th, and in 6th place it's Nigel Ralphson just ahead of John Wilson. And you can see all of that confirmed now. 11/100ths of a second separated Matt Palmer and Ben Rowe at the end. Tim Heron around about another 5 seconds back in 3rd position. Matthew Wallace, Stuart Nichols, Nigel Ralphson completed the top 6, then John Wilson, Alex Knight, Clive Morfitt and Simon Wallace completed the top 10. Let's hear from our race winner and new champion.
Matt Palmer, winner there for the MR2 race, and very nicely for you, the 2013 champion.
Yeah, it feels really good. It was a really hard race as well, with first Tim pushing me off the start, and then Ben when he got past Tim in the end. It feels really good.
You've had put in a lot of hard work this year to wrap it all up. You've taken 6 wins along the way, but it hasn't been easy, ups and downs as always.
No, yeah, it was. I've had quite a few wins, but then it probably could have been more if we hadn't have had some issues with the car. But all the hard work my granddad and Alex from RSR have put in, and also Tony from Automotive Solutions for doing the suspension, he did a really great job. and it was handling really well today.
Well, many congratulations, Matt, on a champion, well deserved.
Thanks a lot.
Ben Rose, second place there. You put the pressure well and truly on Matt.
Yeah, I was trying everything I could think of, but he's a wily chap and very quick, and he's not won the championship for no reason. So I had to be happy with second, and I'm very happy with second, so we can't go wrong.
You took a win earlier in the year at Brands Hatch. Back on the podium must feel nice.
It does, it feels fantastic. I think I've finally got the grips with setting the car up, so I can get it to go quick in a straight line and round corners, which is quite important in racing, I'm led to believe.
Tim Heron there in third place. You had to kind of come in here to Cadwell Park with an unknown track with conditions and all that, but well deserved on the third.
Thank you very much. I managed to keep Matt honest for the first half of the race, and then when Ben came past I lost track with them both completely. But it's been a fantastic weekend for me. I was helped by the situation in qualifying. It meant I could start second and then only lose the one place.
Always close racing though from the MR2s. You're going to be back next year for more?
Definitely. It's a great paddock atmosphere, really good fun series to be involved with, and produces great close racing.
Con los terroristas.
Harlem Shake.
The result of race 1 determined the grid for race 2, so it's Palmer and Ben Rowe on the front of the grid as the lights go out for 13 minutes plus 1 lap of racing to end the Miller's Oils Toyota MR2 Championship season. But it's a great start here by Ben Rowe from the outside of the front row of the grid. Palmer has got away quite nicely as well. The two of them running side by side into Coppice Corner for the first time, but Ben Rowe goes around the outside and he takes the lead. Well, what he was trying to do for the last 3 laps of the opening race, he's done on the first corner of race number 2, which, as you can see, is now a wet affair. Palmer down to second place then. Ben Rowe leads. Who's going to establish himself in third position? It looks like it's Matthew Wallace. In fourth place is Tim Heron. Fifth is John Wilson. Sixth is Nigel Ralston. And seventh, Stuart Nichols, who's looking to wrap up the Class C Championship this weekend. Jonathan Grimes can see there in one of the other roadsters, losing a position to Mark Barber on the run up towards Park for the first time. Again, a 13-minute plus 1 lap race for the MR2s, round 15 of their championship. So here comes Rowe ahead of Palmer with his windscreen wipers on. And I notice that Rowe doesn't have his wipers on. That's pretty because he's out front and there's no spray being kicked up from the car in front of him. I don't think it's actually raining at the moment. Certainly quite different conditions to those that we had in the earlier race. In the earlier race, best lap was a 1:46.13 for Michael Wells on his recovery drive. We'll keep an eye on the lap times in this one, but I suspect they'll be a bit slower. Aboard the Hennessy Motorsport prepared car of John Wilson, just in behind Tim Heron there. It's the TV cameraman Stuart Nichols just in behind him. On board with Palmer. Well, he was in 7th heaven earlier on with his latest victory, wrapped up the championship. Will he be going for win number 8 here this time? I think he might. I think he'll want to end the season on a high. His mind starts to turn to 2014. Oof, brave move being made there. A little bit further back down the order. We've certainly got to watch out for Michael Wells here as well, haven't we? Because he'll be on a mission. He started this race well down the order, 14th on the grid. What can he do from there? 27 car goes through. It's Ryan Conley. Through Charlie's goes Tim Heron with John Wilson just behind him. Stuart Nichols. Is that Michael Wells already up behind them and into what will be, I think, 7th position? It may well be. It's been a very strong start to the race for Michael Wells. Yes, there he is, you can see him at the back of that group. Meanwhile, Nichols is side by side and he gets the place away from Wilson. Stuart Nichols goes through then. Stuart Nichols getting crossed up there. Wilson trying to go around the outside but threading his way through the gap. Goes Michael Wells. John Wilson runs out wide. So John Wilson losing ground with that moment, that off there. It all got a little bit hairy as Michael Wells tried to thread his way through. He was the fastest man in the earlier race. Let's have a look at the replay of that. We're looking back from Stuart Nichols' car. Wilson on the right of the picture, Wells on the left. Now on board with Stuart Nichols, who gets out of shape. Just gets a couple of wheels on the grass there, I think. Wells seizes the opportunity, tries to go around the outside. While John Wilson has gone off, I think. It's the 45 car as well coming through, which is Robert Wells. That's how it looked from in the cockpit with Stuart Nichols. Just the eyes looking left and right, working the wheel, correcting, just having a look to see what was on the left of him. He made the correction, trying to avoid a collision. Nichols here. He lost a little bit of ground. He's behind Robert Wells now, but it's another big moment. Looking back, that's Tim Heron that just slots him behind him. As the cars make their way through. But here are the leaders. It's still the 7 car of Ben Rowe that leads. It's Matthew Palmer in 2nd place in this car that he prepares himself with his granddad, his support crew at every race meeting. They've done a fantastic job this season. Effectively, it's a privateer entry. Look at how difficult the conditions are here through the Hall bends. Onto the brakes for the hairpin. Ben Rowe leading, Palmer 2nd. Leaves and twigs and debris littering the circuit on the run to Barn Corner. Pop-up headlamps in position for Matt Palmer in 2nd place. Lights on, say the signs, and yes, Ben Rowe gets the signal now, but through on the inside as he goes. Matt Palmer, no, he had a look, but on that wetter piece of tarmac there on the inside of Coppice, just have to give best to Ben Rowe. It's going to be difficult to pass there, I think. That piece of asphalt on the left-hand side of the track is that much wetter, you can just see that there. Number 42 is Chris Franklin making his way through Barn Corner, dropping down the hill. 89 is Mick Nichols, is that fresh windscreen he's got in. Then it's Mark Barber coming through. It's Jonathan Grimes as the headlamps dazzlers. It's getting pretty gloomy now here at Cadwell Park as the evening wears on under leaden skies once again. Still Palmer unable to find a way past Ben Rowe. Less than a car length between them as they come through. It's a complete lap number 5 of this race now. Palmer just drawing alongside as they go across the line. That time they're overlapping. Palmer's positioned himself well here because he can use the drier line. And he goes through, does he? Oh, a bit of a touch was there. Certainly a correction needed from Matt Palmer, but he's got through. He's into the lead of the race. On lap 6, Matt Palmer takes the lead away from Ben Rowe. Robert Wells with one headlamp working, one not. Stuart Nichols is just in behind him. This is around about 6th position that we're watching here. And this long right hander at Charlie's, it does seem to go on forever, particularly in these conditions. And as I suspected, lap times are something like 10 seconds a lap slower than we saw earlier on. We're in the 157s or 158s for many of the drivers here, compared to the mid 140s early on in the day. And there's Heron with the 28 car behind him. Heron's tumbled back down the order really. He was 5th at the end of lap 1, but now fighting for 8th and 9th position. Also involved is John Wilson after his earlier off. The championship has slipped through his fingers, but I think he'll probably be the first to admit. Oh, it's off! Off goes the second place man! That's Ben Rowe into the barriers in a big, big way at Barn Corner. And hopefully the barriers have done their job there as Matthew Wallace comes through, which means that he inherits, well, does he inherit second position? Yes, he does, because Ben Rowe's rejoined the race but not up to speed as the last lap gets underway. So it's now Matthew Wallace second, up to third has gone on number 85, Nigel Ralphson. Well, 6th in the earlier race was, I think, his best finish previous to this, but now he's running up inside the top 3. Ben Rowe down to 4th, and Michael Wells from 14th on the grid is in 5th position. Fantastic effort from him. Now Nigel Ralphson, I think, wants second place here. It's his first year in the MR2 Championship. He's jinking this way and that. Now he's in the tow of Matthew Wallace as they climb the hill. Up Park Straight they go. Over the crest towards the blind entry to Park Corner. And look at this, on the last lap it's almost 4 cars fighting for second position. Brilliant stuff. Matt Palmer through Barn Corner for the final time. Checkered flag is in his sights, and it is going to be win number 8 for the man from Reading, and I think he's a little bit pleased. Oh, and Ben Rowe spins as they go through the Hall Bends for the final time. He's got that all wrong. He challenged for the lead. He was leading for a while, in fact, but he's thrown it away. Wallace is going to come through in second place. Nigel Ralphson is third. Michael Wells comes up to 4th place, and it's going to be Robert Wells that gets 5th ahead of Ben Rowe at the end. But over the line goes Stuart Nichols, and he has done enough with 7th position to take the Class C title. Confirmation of the results of that race in the end. Palmer running out a winner by almost 21 seconds. That does not tell the full story though. Matthew Wallace second, and Nigel Ralphson his first podium finish in 3rd position. Michael Wells, Robert Wells and Ben Rowe completing the top 6. Matt Palmer getting the extra points as well for fastest lap, a 156.15 in very difficult conditions. And this is how the points table looks in the end. Matt Palmer taking the overall and Class B championships. Stuart Nichols second overall and Class C champion. John Wilson was 3rd. Michael Wells just getting ahead of Tim Heron for 4th.
Matt Palmer, another win for yourself there. You've already wrapped up the championship, but it's a nice way to go out in style.
Yeah, coming into the weekend I knew what I needed to do, but I had my eyes on a win and maybe a second win as well, and I knew if it was going to be a bit damp we stood a good chance after the pace we showed at Pembury.
You had a close fought battle with Ben Rowe there, but right towards the end he made a mistake and the gap just really opened up.
Yeah, it was really good fun battling with Ben. He was a bit more brave than I was around the first corner on the first lap, but then once my tyres got up to temperature I felt like I could keep up with him, and then had a couple of good runs and finally got around the outside of him into turn 1.
Well, great year, Matt, well done.
Thanks a lot.
Matt Wallace, second place for yourself there, and there was lots going on around your area.
There was a lot happening, yeah. It was some very close racing. Nigel, who was in 3rd, made me basically go all out defending for the entire race. Really worked me hard, and I just managed to get a little bit of a gap at the end there to sort of take the pressure off. Those last few turns are never easy ones. So
it was a really shaked up grid as well, because you had no practice, only 3 laps behind the safety car, so it was anyone's guess what was going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's only so much you can do when you're behind the safety car. You can't really get a feel for where the grip is, where the braking points are. So we really were coming into the race blind, and then of course the weather changed again for race 2 this afternoon, and it was just put yourself out there, see what's happening, try and make a few places at the very beginning, and then hold on to it. So.
Well, great to see you on the podium to end the year.
Thanks very much. Brilliant season. Cheers.
Nigel Ralphson, 3rd place for you there to end the year, and your first podium as well.
First podium, first time at Cadwell, first year in the championship. So at the beginning of the year I was aiming for anything in the top 15, so to finish top 3 on a wet day at Cadwell is fantastic.
Not a bad way to end the year for you. MR2's great action. What's in store for you next year?
Hopefully better. I mean, I've got the podium, so now next time it's I've spent this year learning, and for next year I'm hoping to be consistent in this kind of top 10, top 5ish if I can. So yeah.
Well done, Nigel.
Thank you. Cheers.
It's been a brilliant season in the Millers Oils Toyota MR2 Championship, and I think everyone will agree that Matthew Palmer is a worthy winner of the title. Join us again in 2014. For now, from all of us here at Cadwell Park, it's a very goodbye.